we'll get started. And we're gonna start laying down on your back. So you're fine, lay down on your back. We can take hands up and over your head. So you can already start to feel some opening perhaps in your shoulders. See if the backs of your hands can rest on the ground. And we'll just take a few breaths right here, just being heavy. Breathing in, breathing out. Think about your breath coming in and filling up your whole body, spreading out to the fingertips and the toes. And as you exhale, feel that release of tension, that letting go, softening. And we'll take about 5 more breaths here, fully transitioning into the practice. And then start to stretch nice and long, reach through your fingers, reach through your toes. And then keeping the backs of your hands on the ground, bend your elbows like goalposts. Try to slide your arms on the ground as long as you can. This is a little bit of a mobility thing here. See if you could bring your elbows all the way down towards your rib cage. So stop somewhere along that point. And then inhale to bring them back up. Keeping your spine and your chest pressed down into the mat. Try that again, drawing the elbows down, cleaning your floor with the back of your hands. And then inhale the arms up. Do one more like that, elbows wide, drawing down, hands are still on the ground. And inhale, reach them back up. Good, and then lift your hands straight up to the sky, arms straight. Good, and then bend your elbows and take that goalpost range of motion. Good, and then inhale, arms reach back high. Do that 2 more times. Exhale, elbows open. Inhale, reach. Exhale, and inhale. Then hug your knees into your chest. Give yourself a little squeeze. Rock forward and back, all the way up to seated. Good, we'll sit nice and tall. Inhale, arms reach to the sky. Exhale, stretch to the side. Breathing in there. Feel your hip press down as you reach through your fingers. So you're lengthening the whole side of your body. On an inhale, come on back up. And exhale, take it to the other side. Inhale to rise up. And then take a little twist, one hand back, one hand forward. Look behind you. Sit a little taller as you inhale, twist a little deeper as you exhale. And then come back to center, reach up. Exhale, wring yourself out the other way. Inhale through center, reach high. Circle it back behind you, fingers resting on the ground, shoulder blades hug together, breathe. Inhale, we rise up, and exhale, forward fold. Drop in here, nice and heavy. Loosen your jaw, loosen your neck. And then inhale to rise back up. Good, and if you're sitting with your legs crossed, switch and just put the other one in front. Connect the hips down, take that same pattern. Inhale high. Exhale, stretch to the side. Inhale, rise up tall. Exhale, go the other way. Inhale, reaching up. And twist. Inhale through center. Exhale the other way. Inhale, reach up, look up. Circle it back behind you, open your chest. Rise up on the inhale and forward fold. Good, 3 big breaths here. And then come all the way back up. All right, let's just come on over to downward facing dog. So nothing fancy. Press your hands down, send the hips high, and then wiggle around a little bit as much as you need, pedaling the feet, shaking out the head. Come to stillness. Take a nice big breath in and out. On an inhale, come forward to a high plank. And then we'll lower your right knee down to the mat. Keep the right hand on the ground. Lift the left hand up for a side plank. Good. And for those at home, you may not have heard, the request today is lots of shoulders and upper back opening. So here's what we're going to do. Take this top hand, reach it up and over your head. Good. And then let it drop down in front of you. Keep your arms straight like a windmill. We're making a big circle with this arm. Take 2 more of those circles. Reach up to the ceiling. And then come back through the center. High plank again. Side plank the other way. You can put your knee down or keep it up, your choice. Reach the right hand high. And then let it reach up and over your head. And then windmill it around. Big circles for the shoulder joint. Meet with it, reaching up to the ceiling. And then come back through center. And press yourself up and back, downward facing dog. 3 big breaths in that down dog. Letting the chest fall back toward your thighs. Good. When you're ready, tiptoe little tiny steps up towards the top of your mat, folding in half. Let that stretch down the back of the legs. Hang loose here, feet wide, knees bent. Sway a little side to side, shake your head a little yes, a little no. And then we'll roll up to standing. Reach the arms out and up and look up. Exhale, hands to heart. Take a nice big breath in and a big breath out. Good. On an inhale, reach up, look up. Exhale, forward fold. Take the arms wide, dive it all the way down. Inhale, halfway lift. And then bring your hands down, right foot steps all the way back. Lower that right knee to the mat. Inhale to rise, reaching up. And let your hips sink forward. Good. So think about you're stretching the whole chain of muscles from underneath your chin, down across your chest, all across the abs, the front of the right hip especially, all the way back to the toes because that foot is down on the ground. Exactly. One more big breath here. And then exhale, take your elbows wide, puff up your chest. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, elbows wide. Now keep the elbows where they are in terms of height, but bring them together in front of you. Ooh. Inhale, take them open. Reach them back up. Take them down. Bring the forearms together in front of you. Inhale, open. Good. We'll reach up to the sky and then bring hands down to the ground. Tuck the back toes, lift up and step back. Press up and back to downward facing dog. Big breath in your nose and out your mouth. Inhale and exhale. Lift your right leg up and back behind you. Bring your knee to your nose and step your foot between your hands. Lowering the back knee, inhale to rise. Sink the hips forward. Lengthen up nice and tall. And then exhale, elbows go wide. Inhale, reach high. Exhale, elbows wide. Good. And then forward, forearms together. And open. And together. And open. Good. Reach up. Bring your hands down, forward fold at the top of the mat. So step all the way forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Rise up to standing, sweep the arms wide, look up. Exhale, hands to heart. Let's keep playing with that. Inhale, reach up tall. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Hands press down, this time left foot steps all the way back. Keep your back being lifted and then rise for that high lunge. Good. Take the elbows wide and then press the forearms together. Open and bring them together. One more time, open and then reach them up to the sky. Exhale, hands to the ground, step back and just press up and back, downward facing dog. Big breath in and out. Left foot reaches up and back. Step that left foot in between your hands, high lunge. Good. Find the length and then bring the elbows wide. Hug them together in front and open. One more time together and open. Good, reach up tall. Hands frame that front foot, step forward, fold in half. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale to fold. Stand up, reaching hands high. And exhale, hands to your heart. Pausing for a moment, just breathe. Check in and notice your heart rate, the breath. Soften the shoulders down the back. Good. Let's shift all the weight into your left foot. Pick up the right knee, cross it across and wrap that toe all the way around the back of the leg. If you don't make the wrap, just press it against the outside edge. Exactly. Then take your arms out. Take the right hand under the left, bringing the palms to touch. So if this feels like too much, you can also work with just forearms touching like we did before. And then breathe. Think about your elbows lifting up away from your chest and your hands away from your face. That's going to open up all behind the shoulder blades. And you're still balancing. Good. On an inhale, untangle your arms. Bring that right knee up with you. Exhale, step it back, high lunge. Big breath in, big breath out. Let's open it to a warrior two and sink into the hips for a moment. Good, kind of root down into your feet. Fill it up with breath. Good. Let's straighten the front leg. Triangle pose, reach out over your foot and then open up into that triangle shape. Straight legs, straight arms, lots and lots of breath. Press into your feet nice and strong. Maybe lean your chest back in space. Get a little wider across the collarbones. Good. On an inhale, rise up. And then turn both feet towards the long edge of your mat. Interlace your hands behind your back. Roll the shoulders down, look up, and then lead with your heart as you forward fold, wringing yourself out. Breathe. We'll take about 5 good slow breaths here, in and out. Think about softening the throat and the jaw, the collarbones and the neck. And then we'll release the hands down. Bend your knees, roll yourself up nice and slow. Good. Warrior two to the front of the mat. Big breath in. And then exhale, cartwheel your hands down. Go back to downward facing dog. Nice, huge breath in. Exhale it out. Inhale. Exhale, bending your knees, look forward, hop, step, or float, feet to hands, top of the mat to halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Rise to standing, sweeping the arms out and up. Look up. And exhale, thumbs to your heart. All right, we'll get that eagle pose on the other side. So stand strong on your right leg. Left thigh lifts up and across. Wrapping the foot, you can bend into your standing leg. That helps with the wrap. Otherwise, again, press it against the outer edge. And then left arm under the right, palms coming to touch, or just forearm to forearm. Breathe. One more breath. And then undo your arms, lift the left leg up and press it back. High lunge. Good, steady and strong. Take a breath. Open to your warrior two, pressing down into your feet. Straighten the front leg, reach out, triangle pose. Really pressing down through the feet so that you feel like you're lifting up everywhere else. Good, a couple more breaths. Is it okay if I assist you? Cool. Let's bring everything back that way. And then that there, perfect. All right, use an inhale, rise up to standing. Turn both feet to that long edge of your mat. Again, interlace your hands behind your back. Roll the shoulders open, look up. And forward fold once again. Hands staying bound, but maybe falling up and over. Soften. It's okay to wiggle a little bit. Sometimes that little bit of movement helps you just kind of ease past some blocking points. Release your hands down, tuck your chin to your chest, roll up to standing. Warrior two to the front of your mat. Big breath in. And then exhale, hands to the ground, step back, find your way to downward facing dog. Great. And then two big breaths here, all the way in and out. Inhale and exhale, bend your knees, look forward. Inhale, bring your feet forward to your hands, halfway lift at the top of your mat. Exhale to fold in half. Inhale, rise up, reaching up, up, up. Exhale, hands to heart. Breathe. All right, let's take eagle again. Shift all the weight into the left foot. Right thigh crosses over, arms go out. Right arm crosses under, palms come to touch. Except this time we're gonna move with it. So keeping the arms just as they are, unwind the legs, press back through that right foot and find your high lunge. Nice, steady into the legs. And then spin your back heel down, turning towards a warrior two. Inhale, reach the elbows up to the sky. And then exhale, straighten that front leg. Unwind your hands, forward fold, facing the edge of your mat. Good, just let yourself hang here for a moment. Head heavy, shoulders heavy, breathing. And then bend the knees, rise up to standing. Warrior two to the front of the mat again. We're gonna bring the right arm under the left for those eagle arms. Turn to face the front of the mat. Leaning forward, step to the top of the mat, bringing the right leg up. And find that eagle leg one more time. Breathe in, breathe out. Good, unwind your arms, both feet to the mat. Inhale, look up. Exhale, thumbs to your heart. All right, we'll work that control and all that balance the other way. Stand strong on your right foot. Left knee crosses over. Left arm is under. Breathing.
All right, then we start to untangle the legs, keep the arms just where they are. Press that left foot back. This is core strength, this is hip strength. Land it into that high lunge. Breathing. Warrior two, spin your back heel down. Good, let's be a little more graceful than I was last time. Untangle your arms, straighten your front leg. Turn your toes to the edge of the mat. And then forward fold. Breathe. Could your head fall a little bit closer to the mat? Could you rock the weight forward towards the ball of each foot? Bending your knees, chin to chest, roll up to standing. Warrior two to the front of your mat. Big, huge breath. Exhale, cartwheel your hands. Oh, I'm sorry. Forget all of that. Pause, reverse. We're going back to our eagle all the way at the front. So from your warrior two, bring your left arm under your right. Good. Now we turn that to a high lunge facing the front. Then engage that core, step it forward, lifting the left knee, cross it over the right leg. Here's that eagle, one more breath. Bring your feet to the mat, sweep your hands high, look up. And exhale, hands to heart. Take a breath. Good, eyes blink open if they were closed. Step your feet wide toward the edges of your mat. Bring your hands to your heart. Really think about here, collarbones wide, puff up your chest a little bit, and then slide down towards Malasana, yogi squat. Good, a little rock side to side there to loosen up the hips and breathe. Good, and then while we're down here, instead of a normal crow pose, let's try a wide crow pose. So hands are gonna go wider than your mat. And then just like you would for crow, bend at the elbows. Let the inner side of your knee rest on the backs of your arms. And then rock your weight forward. So this starts to give you a really big, nice stretch through the inner thighs. You can float your feet, maybe. They don't necessarily need to, but it uses your own body weight to lower you into that stretch. Good, try one more breath. And then bring your feet back down to the mat, hands to your heart. Gracefully reaching forward, have a seat. Legs come up front, Navasana, or not gracefully. Somehow, Navasana. Breathe. Good, puff up your chest again, get taller, and then lower everything 1 inch off the mat. And then we rise back up. And then we do that 4 more times, lowering and lifting, breathing as you go. You can always give a nice little self-assist with hands on the thighs. We'll meet laying down all the way. Hands up and over your head. Flop. Take a big breath. And again, with hands up over your head, feeling the palms, or sorry, the back sides of your hands on the ground, try to straighten your arms, working into that shoulder range of motion just a little bit. And then this time, instead of bending at the elbows, keep your arms really straight, if you've got room without whacking anything. Take them down by your sides, keeping the backs of the hands on the ground. Yeah, and then inhale, sweep them all the way up. Good. You could also do this at home if you're not, like, if you don't have the space, you can do this against a wall. Inhaling the hands high. Exhaling them down, keeping the backs of the hands on the ground as much as you can, which is going to push into that stretch for the shoulders. Good. Yeah, try it one more time. Hands go down and up. Good. Hug your knees into your chest. Give yourself a little squeeze. Rock yourself forward and back. Come all the way up. Roll right over. Downward facing dog. 3 big breaths in your down dog. Loosen the jaw, roll the head around a little bit. Everything's just relaxed. And then we'll take the right leg up as high in the air as you can get it. Lift it even higher and then bend your knee. And notice your left heel, drop it down, exactly. Now lift that right knee high. Let your hips open up towards the side. There you go. Now draw a big circle with your knee, down and around. Good, step your foot forward outside of your right hand. We'll take a moment in lizard lunge here. Keep the back knee lifted and just rock forward and back. Good, and then from here, you can stay right where you are. You can lower the back knee down. You can come down to forearms if you like. We'll take 5 breaths. Start to make your way back to hands. And then if you didn't already, put that back knee down. Keep the left hand on the mat, swing the right hand up. Breathe into that twist, again, opening broad across the chest and the collarbones. Then trace your hand straight back behind you, follow it with your eyes. And then maybe this option, if you like, lift that back foot, grab for it, feeling the front of the left thigh. All right, release. Hands come back down around front, tuck the back toes, step back, high plank. Let's lower that right knee or not. We'll take side plank on the right, open up the left hand to the ceiling. Once again, 3 times that big circle with your hand, drop it over your head, down towards the floor and around. Good, nice and easy. Actively stretching with that motion. Good, come back through center. And then side plank the other way, open it up. Reach up and over, drop the hand to the floor, circle it open. 2 more like that. And then come back through center, high plank, and downward facing dog. Big breath in. Let it out. Lift your left leg up, 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 up. Bend the knee. Let the hips open towards the side of the mat. Breathe there. Maybe draw that circle with your knee. And then step the left foot forward outside of the left hand. Rock forward and back a little bit, sinking in. About 5 more breaths. You can drop the back knee. Drop to the forearms if you like. Breathe. Good, and then if you're down on forearms, come back up to hands. Keep the right hand on the mat, left hand circles up towards the ceiling. Yep, exactly. And then let it trace back behind you. Maybe reach for that back foot. Send some breath to the front of your thigh as the quads stretch open. Good, release. Bring your hands back around to the front. Tuck the back toes, step back to that high plank. But this time we're gonna lower both knees. Pull the hips back so they're stacked over the knees and then walk the hands forward. Puppy dog pose. Good, spending some time here to soften. Think about that space between the shoulder blades, around the heart, around the sternum. Let all of that drop towards the mat. Hollowing out. Good. If you want a little more from that stretch, look forward and put your chin on the mat. Three more breaths. And then from here, let's actually come forward all the way down to the ground, laying on your stomach. For just a moment, make a little pillow with your hands, take a rest, turning your head one way. And then turn your head the other way. Bring your forehead back towards the center. Tent your fingers outside the edges of your mat and point your elbows up at the ceiling. And then inhale, lift right up the middle. Exhale, lower down. Thinking about your spine getting longer, inhale, come on up. Exhale, lower down. And then inhale, lift up the center, but drop only the left shoulder. That's my right, just kidding. Drop your left shoulder and breathe. Inhale, rise up the middle. Then drop the other one that you didn't do before. Good. We'll give each side one more round. So come up the center, drop in, take a breath. Rise up through the middle. Take the other side. And come up the middle and then lower straight down. Good. While we're here on the ground, let's take that big stretch for the front of your chest. So bring your left hand next to your rib cage, the right hand out, straight out to the side, right arm is straight. Then you lift the left shoulder so you can roll open, inviting lots of stretch into the chest and the shoulder. You can take this left hand behind your back. You can bring the left foot to the ground, the knee pointing up at the ceiling. Yep. And let your head rest. Good. Breathe here. I think for a lot of us, we feel tension and tightness in our shoulders. We kind of think about the back side of the shoulders, but forget that all of this up front needs to stretch as well. So this is a great way to balance it out. We'll roll back through the middle, take your time. And then switching sides, the right hand comes next to the rib cage, the left hand extends out. Lift the right shoulder as you roll open over the left. Head heavy onto the ground. Right foot on the ground, knee towards the ceiling. And the more you let the hips keep rolling open, the more you'll kind of turn up the intensity. All right, slowly unwind, come back to the center. Bring your hands next to your rib cage. Tuck your toes, lift your knees and your thighs and press straight up and back, downward facing dog. 3 big breaths in your down dog. Noticing your shoulders, noticing how things change as we move through all these different stretches. Good, and then right leg can lift up and back. Step it in between your hands and we'll go to warrior 2. So we spin the hips and shoulders open to the long edge of the mat, bend into that front knee and breathe. Good, bring your hands to your hips for a moment and then give yourself a little self-check. Are your hips really pointing to the side? Are your ribs really pointing to the side? Then you can extend the arms out and notice this front knee likes to tip over. Try to keep it pulled back so it's open, exactly. One more breath here. And then we'll straighten the front leg again, triangle pose, reaching out over that front foot. Lower your hand and look up. Good, and the cue we like to give here is imagine that you're leaning against a wall behind you. Could your shoulders press into that wall? Good, take a couple more breaths. As you inhale, rise all the way up. And again, turn your feet toward the long edges of your mat, both feet, hands to your hips. Lift up nice and tall and then fold from the hips right there below your fingertips. Lowering all the way down. Hands can drop once you get there. And we'll play here with bringing the crown of your head all the way down to the mat. So if that feels impossibly far away, widen out your feet. Good, and walk your hands back so that they're in between your feet. And then you work until the head finds the ground. Might not happen today, but it could. If it's there, that's the entry point for your headstand. So you could start to lift the feet. Haha, gorgeous. We'll take 3 more breaths, whatever you're working on. Good, and then to come down carefully. Beautiful. Bring the feet back to the ground if they were up. On an inhale, lift halfway up to a flat back. Exhale right there, hands to the hips. Inhale, rise all the way up. Warrior 2 to the front of your mat. Big breath in. And exhale, cartwheel your hands down and go back to downward facing dog. Good. We meet with that huge breath in and open mouth out. Inhale and exhale. Good. Left leg reaches up and back. And then step it in between your hands. Warrior 2. Rise right up to it. Good. Nice and strong here. Straighten the front leg. Triangle pose. Reach over the left toes. Yep. And then lower the left hand. Look up to your right. Good. Pull the rib cage back in space as if it was pressing against that wall behind you. Good. Use your next breath to rise all the way up. Nice. Turn your feet toward the long edge of your mat again. And then it'll be yogi's choice forward fold. You could either interlace the hands for more of that chest and shoulder opening, or you can forward fold, working the stretch, or you can take that headstand again. Go somewhere that feels interesting and helpful to you. Nice. Love the headstands at home. Make sure you're strong through your arms and your core if you're upside down. Take 3 more breaths. And then we'll bend the knees, tuck the chin to the chest, round yourself up to standing. Warrior 2 to the front of your mat. Great big breath in. Exhale, hands to the ground, back to downward facing dog. Good. From down dog, lower to your knees. And we'll take our 3 rounds of camel pose. So I always like to double up the mat here and get that extra padding for my knees. You can do that if you like. And then reach up to the ceiling. Think about lengthening by lifting your heart up and swim your arms backwards. Place them at your low back. Draw the elbows together, squeeze your shoulder blades together, lift up. Good. Breathe right there. The more the elbows hug toward one another, the more you'll get that stretch across the pecs and the chest again. Good. One more breath. Lift your heart up towards the ceiling a little bit. Good. And then on an inhale, rise up, swim your hands forward. Have a seat down onto your heels. And just sit in stillness. 3 breaths. Soft and easy. All right, and then we'll do it again. Come on back up to your knees. Reach yourself tall. Open up, swimming the hands back. If you'd like, you can drop back to hands on the heels this time. So still we go the same entry, lifting up, and then once you've gone back as far as it feels okay, then hands could drop down toward the heels. Good. Think about the hips still pushing forward. And if you feel this as any kind of like tension or kind of crunching in the low back, then come out of it a little bit. No need to overdo it. Good. When you're ready, bring yourself back up. Swim the arms forward again. Have that seat down in neutral. 3 breaths, even inhales and exhales, signaling to your nervous system everything's okay. And then we'll take that one more time, one more round of that back bend. So come up to your knees, lengthen everything. We really want to keep that sense of a long spine as you go into the back bend to avoid that crunch of the low back. Take yourself back, maybe drop the hands down. Make sure you can still breathe, whatever choice you're making. Two more breaths. Maybe you could soften something somewhere. And then rise back up. Good. And then this time we'll take it all the way down to a child's pose. So you can lengthen your mat out again. Stretch the arms out, hips to the heels, forehead heavy. Breathing here, just checking back in with yourself. Noticing the effects of the practice, this physical asana practice. More than just stretching and bending and strengthening and balancing. Notice the effects that it has on you, on your mind, on your energy, on your breath. And then when you're ready, we're just going to make your way onto your seat. So you can rise up and swing your legs around. Stretch the legs long in front of you. Flex your toes up towards the sky. Press your heels into the mat. So there's that like micro bend. We're not hyperextending the knees. Good. Reach up really tall. And then forward fold. Good. Breathing here. Head can drop if you like. On an inhale, rise back up. Bring both feet in for a little butterfly moment. Holding onto your ankles, puff up your chest nice and tall. And then forward fold over everything. And you can let that be active using your elbows, kind of nudging the legs down, or you can choose not to, right? You can let it be passive. Walk the hands forward, drop your head. Gravity will do the work for you. We'll rise back up on an inhale. Straighten just the left leg. Keep the right foot in by your thigh. Perfect. Reach up tall. And again, forward fold over that left leg. Two more breaths here. Soften a little bit into it. And then rise all the way up. Open your arms wide. Turn your chest so that you're pointing it at your right knee. Left arm rests on the left leg as the right arm reaches up and over. Draw that top shoulder open. Lengthen your neck. Breathe. Rise on an inhale. And then just take a gentle counter twist, looking over your left shoulder. Good. Come back to the front, straighten your right leg, bring the left foot in. Reach up and fold over your right leg. Use your breath, rising back up. Open the hands, turn your chest to point at the left knee. Let the right hand drop, the left hand takes you up and over. Next breath, we rise. And then take your counter twist, looking over the right shoulder. Good. Come back to the front. We're going to cross at the ankles and roll right over. Find your way back to downward facing dog. Big, huge breath in. Big, huge breath out. One more of those. Inhale. Empty it out. Good. Lift your left leg again as high to the sky as it'll go. And then we step it forward for our half pigeon. Lay your shin down across the front of your mat, bringing that foot forward so you're really almost straight across the front. Walk your hands back to your hips, find center. Looks good. Then forward fold over the right leg. Good. So you can come to forearms or forearms on a block. You can walk your hands farther out as things start to feel okay with that plan. We'll take about 5 more breaths here. Maybe you sink in just a little bit deeper. And then lift your chest. We're going to sit off onto the right hip to swing the left leg all the way around. Cross your knee over the top of the other. So we've got left leg on top. Yeah. And then reach up and fold over your legs. Lift your chest back up, bring your hands behind you, feet out front, rock your knees side to side. And then bring your feet to the ground, press everything away as you lift your hips, this reverse tabletop for 5, 4, 3, hips higher, 2, and relax. Good. Cross the ankles, roll yourself over, downward facing dog. Nice big breath in. Open your mouth, let it all out. Inhale and exhale. Left side, we take that left leg high up in the air and then step it forward for your half pigeon. Good. Is that the side you didn't
Were you flipped the other time? Okay, just making sure you're ending up with balance. We don't want one overstretched hip and one tight side. Forward fold as you're ready. Heavy down into the ground. Sinking in for those 5 even breaths. Start to rise up. Sitting off to the side, swing that back leg around, crossing knee over knee. Reach up nice and tall and fold over your legs. Rising up once again, hands come behind you, feet out front, rock side to side. And then one last time, press the ground away, lift your hips up, maybe drop the head back if that's okay. Keep breathing. And then lower down. Great. We're going to take just a moment to get upside down in shoulder stand. So lay all the way down. Take your legs straight up to the ceiling and then toss them up and over your head for plow pose. Hug those elbows nice and close together and then lift your feet to the sky. The weight is on the back of the arms and the shoulders, a bit in the head, but we're not hurting the neck here. On your next exhale, go ahead and drop back towards plow pose, toes up and over. If toes touch the ground, then bend the knees. You can squeeze your head. And then when you're ready, roll all the way out. We'll meet laying on your back, legs out front. Tuck your hands just underneath your hips, prop up onto your elbows, and then bring the elbows a little closer together underneath you. Lift your chest up, drop your head back. Big breaths here. Laying yourself down, hug both knees into your chest. Open your arms like a T, drop the knees to the left. Look all the way over to your right hand and breathe. Bring the knees back through center. Drop them to the right. Turn your gaze to look left. Bring the knees center one last time. Hug everything in. And then as you exhale, release everything out down to the ground for your Shavasana. Allow everything to stop. Matching your breath, even inhale to exhale.
Feel your nervous system just ease into this rest. And then without changing anything, just one more time, notice. How does your body feel? How is your breath? How are you? And then as you're ready, let some movement back into wrists and ankles. Head can rock side to side. Arms reach up over your head. Take that nice big full stretch. And turn over onto one side. Take this last moment here. Tell yourself thank you for carving out this time to be still, to be strong, to be flexible, to be all the things, taking care of yourself. And then when you're ready, rise back up to seated. Eyes can close, hands rest at your heart. And we'll take 3 breaths together. We inhale and exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale and exhale. Bowing forward, we honor this practice of yoga for all it teaches us, mind, body, spirit, on the mat and off. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much. Have a beautiful Friday, great weekend, and I hope to see you next week. You're so welcome. Thank you.